Lady Arabelle, drink this. It will neutralize the poison. We discovered the source of the poison, and something more. Our friend will tell you.
I knew you wouldn't let me down. Tell me what you uncovered, dear.
Tell Lady Arabelle what we learned, and
Ugh, couldn't you have added a touch of cinnamon or honey to this, Ravana? No matter. I assume I will be hale and hearty again before long. Now, enough with the suspense. Tell me what you've uncovered, dear. The poison must have affected my hearing. Did you say Lord Bacaro is the Ascendant Lord? How can that be? He sponsored the peace talks. He started the Society of the Steadfast, which has done nothing but good for the archipelago and the mainland. Looking at things from this perspective puts the delays and how the Ascendant Order has managed to stay one step ahead of us in a very different light. But why go through all this trouble? What is Lord Bacaro actually planning? I feel better already. Well done, dear Ravana. As for this business about the Druid King, I read the reports from Galen. Some druids truly believe that the Ivy Throne would be an improvement over the Ruby one. But all this chaos and murder... We've been hesitant for too long, unsure of where the next attack would come from. Now we know. It's coming from inside our circle, from someone we considered an ally, a friend. Take this, my friend. We'll deal with Bacaro soon enough. I can't in good conscience start the peace talks while the Ascendant Lord, the man I knew as Lord Bacaro, is out there doing who knows what. I'm afraid I need your help again, my friend. We must keep the Druid King's regalia out of Bacaro's hands. Then we must assume that Count Stefan and Druid Laurel are in danger. If Lord Bacaro truly believes he's the heir to the Ivy Throne of the Druids, he'll stop at nothing to get his way. We must go to Galen and defend the remaining regalia. Druid Ravana and I will get Zaji to sail us to Galen. While we collect the staff from the Stonelore Circle, I want you to go to Count Stefan and protect the Druid King's crown. We'll meet you at Castle Mornard as soon as we can. I'll leave Captains Colleen and Suzo to guard the Alliance leaders while we go to Galen. First we protect the regalia. Then we stop Lord Bacaro, or the Ascendant Lord, or whatever he calls himself. Now, get to Vastir and protect the crown. Because we don't know how far-reaching Bacaro's conspiracy is. The Alliance leaders are safe inside the palace, with their loyal captains watching over them. And we don't want them to hear of this betrayal yet. It would end the talks in a flash. I don't really know. I'm not an expert on Druidic law and prophecy. According to what you and Ravana discovered, Bacaro believes he's a direct descendant of Kasserine, the last Druid King. If he gains the regalia, he could make a claim for the title. I never underestimate anything when it comes to religious fervor, my dear. If nothing else, his connection to this legacy gives him a legitimate claim to power through his mother's bloodline, and many might see the Ivy Throne as preferable to the Ruby one. Druid Ravana's elixir has done wonders. I feel stronger already. Still, I was weak from the poison for a long time. I expect my recovery will be slow but persistent. Don't worry, dear. I'll leave the dangerous work to you and Ravana for now.
some druids. But Count Stefan and that hero from the mainland saved us.
I thought our troubles were over after all the death and destruction, but something worse is coming, Veda.
I feel it too. Like a dark storm on the horizon.
I'm worried, Veda. I don't think Galen's
Search the castle. If there are more rogue knights, I want them in chains.
We routed them from the library, but I'll make sure...
I'm glad to see you again, friend. I just wish your arrival didn't coincide with another crisis. A contingent of knights from the Society of the Steadfast entered the castle. Not in and of itself a concern, we are allies after all. But we weren't informed of a visit. When one of my knights saw them go into the library, she went to investigate. She discovered them ransacking the library. They attacked her, but she was able to fend them off and summon help. My knights routed the villains, but we're unsure if anything was stolen, or if there are more of them hiding elsewhere in the castle. The Ascendant Order? The rogue knights that gave you trouble back on High Isle. What would they be seeking in my castle? Then those imposters must have been looking for the Druid King's crown. Come, we need to check the library at once. And later, I want to hear more about your accusations concerning Lord Bacaro. I assumed it would be safe enough locked in a case in the library until I could make other arrangements. We had no reason to believe the relics were in danger. Besides, I only returned to the castle a moment before you arrived. At the docks preparing to receive Lord Bacaro's ship and the relief supplies he promised. It never arrived. I suppose that was all part of the ruse based on what you just told me. Now, let's go make sure the crown is still safely locked away. The library is this way. They ransacked the place. Let's see if the case is still here.
You're too late, fools. The crown belongs to the Ascendant Order now.
The case is empty. But how do they know to search the library, let alone behind the shelves? They stole the crown right out of my own castle. How is this possible? You said Lord Bacaro is behind this. I think you better tell me what you know. If you go back far enough, most Bretons have a druid hiding somewhere in their bloodline, but so many records have been lost. How could he be certain? Regardless, why the ruse with the peace talks and the Ascendant Order? So Bacaro was behind it all. The attempts on the lives of the Alliance leaders, the death of the Archdruids, of Raval and my father. Wait, Druid Laurel! The staff, Laurel and Free, are in danger! Orlaith may have believed in a new age, but Bacaro is leading us toward the Green Scourge. King Cassarain's prophecy of the return of the Druid King. It predicts two possibilities, either an era of peace and harmony, or a time of nature run amok. Go to Glimmertarn and make sure Laurel and the staff are safe. I'll gather what knights I can spare. See if Captain Siravain is willing to aid us once more. I have a feeling we'll need all the help we can get to stop Bacaro and his Ascendant Order. Siravain is a mercenary, but she and her Gilded Blade proved themselves trustworthy against the Dread Sails and the Firesong. Since then, we've been paying her to help with the relief efforts. We needed every ship we could hire. I won't know until I ask. And if she refuses, you'll still have House Mornard at your side in the battle to come. Now hurry, my friend. Go make sure the staff and Druid Laurel are safe.
Druidkin! Oh, thank Ifray you're here. Something terrible has happened. This way! Rot in damnation! Lord Bacaro, he betrayed us! Lord Bacaro and a contingent of steadfast knights arrived with their usual crates of supplies. He took me aside, warned me that the Ascendant Order was after the Druid King's regalia. He wanted to make sure the staff was still safe. Blight it all. But I did just what you'd expect. He's our ally, or I thought he was. I showed him that the staff was safe, and he grabbed it. Ordered his knights to hold us back. He has all 3 of the regalia, friend. All 3. We tried to resist, but we were no match for his knights. Then Bacaro displayed the regalia, proclaimed himself the Druid King, and commanded Free to follow him. And they did. That's when Lady Arabelle arrived. Wait, Stefan, is he all right? As soon as I explained what happened, Lady Arabelle and her companions went after Bacaro. I told them we saw him leading Free toward Ifray's path. I stayed behind to tend to the wounded. But this smacks of the Green Scourge. I'll go with you. How should I know how that blighter thinks? Lady Arabelle told me that he's the Ascendant Lord, which now makes sense. As soon as he revealed his treachery, his knights threw off their cloaks and revealed themselves to be the Ascendant Order. I'm not sure. Other than Orlaith, no one else has ever attempted to claim the title. At least not to my knowledge. Is it enough to just possess the regalia? Is that why he needs Free? To legitimize his claim? I'm not sure. Still, this is bad. In every way. Everything I know tells me the Druid King can command nature, wield it like a tool or a weapon. If the title is taken by force, the prophecy tells us it begins an age of destruction. The Green Scourge. It's from the dream of Kasserine, the prophecy of the Druid King. One choice, one will, one binding word, shall bless or scourge all lands. Since those lines were carved into the Telling Stone, they've become the basis for our 2 possible futures. The blessing of the Green Reward, or the curse of the Green Scourge. One ushers in an age of harmony with nature. The other predicts a world under siege by an angry and vengeful wilderness. 2 possibilities. One Druid King. The Druids have argued about that for generations. From what you found at Ivyheim, it's clear Kasserine believed the reward would come when the circles reunited and selected a new king, while a usurper would summon the Scourge. A tyrant like Bacaro.
We lost Bacaro in Ifray's path. Lady Arabelle is still out there.
Thank you, Nairon. The Druidkin and I will take it from here.
Got a system here. Don't mess it up.
This is the trail they took into Ifray's path.
An outsider? Well, if this is Ifray's room. Come here, please.
Over there. That's one of Lady Arabelle's companions.
5 Claw! Oh, thank the moons! The others followed! Lady Arabelle is very brave. barely recovered from nearly dying, and already chasing villains into a desolate and scary valley. Hurry, Five Claw. You must go help her. Zaji decided to wait out here for you, Five Claw. Yes, Zaji waited to direct you. It is easy to get lost in such places, yes? Lady Arabelle followed the Ascendant Lord. Should Zaji call him that now? Oh, thank you, Five Claw. Zaji will go back to the Druid village and wait for you there. Look for Casca. She is a great tracker. If she hasn't found Bacaro yet, she will shortly.
They went this way. Look, that's the giant cat that accompanied Lady Arabelle.
Good to smell you, Five Claw. Rivana told me to wait here. She wanted to make sure that Druid Laurel or whoever came after us knew where to go. She doesn't know what the Ascendant Lord is up to exactly, but she's sure he came to this place for a reason. They headed west and followed Bacaro into Ifre's path. Bacaro left some knights behind to slow us down, but I took care of them. Did you happen to see Zaji on your way here? Now that you're here, I'll head back too. I could be more helpful at the Druid village than in a cramped cavern. You might not believe this, but sometimes my size can be a hindrance. Just make sure to bite Bacaro a few times for me.
The ruins on the western wall of the hollow. That's got to be where everyone headed. There's a druid ahead.
Over here, my friend. Lady Arabelle followed them through that door. Lady Arabelle said you'd find us. Told me to wait here and point the way. She followed Bacaro, the Ascendant Lord, through that door over there. Go help her. I'm still not sure she's fully recovered from the effects of the poison. Just speculation, really. Ifre's path is a sacred place, and such locations contain power if you know how to draw upon it. Bacaro is going to need all the power he can get if he wants to press his claim as the Druid King. The Stonelore Circle, at least, will never accept his claim, not unless forced to. Not to mention the Three Alliances. Bacaro is going to need more than the regalia and his small army of knights to accomplish his ultimate goal, to rule all of Tamriel. She's definitely on the mend, but she should be resting. Running after the so-called Ascendant Lord can be hazardous to her condition in a number of ways. Go after her, my friend. Keep her safe and deal with Bacaro before things get worse.
All these plants were recently torn away. This door must have been hidden for ages. That's Lady Arabelle. What's she doing?
Careful, dears. Now don't be alarmed, dear, but I happen to have stepped where I shouldn't have. I suppose I owe Druid Ravana an apology. The lingering effects of the poison do seem to have made me somewhat discombobulated. A pressure plate, I think. Some sort of trap put here who knows when, and by who knows who. That can wait, though. I followed Lord Bacaro in here. He met with a group of druids. Firesong, I think. He promised them vengeance against the Stonelore. The nature spirit? Yes, they were here. I couldn't quite tell if they were a prisoner or not. Bacaro did say he needed them to talk to Ifre's path, whatever that means. You need to go after them, my dear. Oh, I agree. But that's not going to be done quickly. And as long as I remain in place, we are all perfectly safe. You go on ahead. Druid Laurel can stay here and help me disarm this insidious contraption.
Don't move, Lady Let me see what I can do.
Not a muscle, dear lady. Go, my friend. Find Bacaro and free.
Someone approaches. Don't let them reach the ritual site. Ascendant Knights. Firesong allies. The prophecy demands it.
Expecting that.
We shall start by punishing the Stone Lord. Servants of Ifray, come forth. Obey your king. Destroy the Stone Lord Circle and their allies.
If not for the fact that we were delayed by that trap, we could have been here to help you with that creature. Then maybe Lord Bacaro wouldn't have been able to slip away. I assume this was at least in part a test of sorts, to see if he could actually call forth a spirit and command it. Plus, he wanted to prove to his followers that he is worthy of the Druid King's regalia. Somewhere he can further strengthen and consolidate his power, especially since he knows we're onto him. Druid Laurel is examining the stone carvings. Perhaps they can tell us something. Take a look and talk to her, dear.
These carvings tell an interesting story. Take a look, my friend. This carving shows the Druid King binding a spirit into Mount Firesong. Examine the carvings, and I'll tell you what I think they mean. This carving depicts the spirit slumbering within the volcano. See the Druid King's regalia? This carving indicates a possible future. See how the spirit awakens and the volcano erupts? It's a warning.
I always say, when someone gives you a warning, it's best to take heed.
Ancient druids called upon the spirits of the green at their own peril. Only the Druid King was ever able to do so safely. It's why we abandoned the practice long ago. This is where they did it. At least where some of them did it. Like so much of the ancient knowledge that remains, these carvings are open to interpretation. Obviously, we can see the spirits of the green. forces of nature in the bosom of Ifray. Then we see a spirit slumbering beneath Mount Firesong. Very much so. And the spirit must be extremely powerful due to how sacred Mount Firesong is. I think that's what the final carving tells us. Let the sleeping spirit lie. For generations, that's been one of the Firesong's primary purposes. I think Bacaro plans to call forth the spirit of Mount Firesong with the Druid King's regalia. With a spirit of that magnitude, the armies of Tamriel won't stand a chance. Go to Vastir, and tell Stefan to prepare his ships. We must go to Ifalon.
If we're going to stop Bacaro, we're going to need help. Go to Castle Mornard and rally Count Stefan's knights. I'll make sure the rest of us are ready.